There's a moment most of us have experienced. You're sitting quietly, maybe reading or watching TV, and suddenly you catch the faintest hint of something off. And for a split second, you wonder, is that me? If you've ever had that thought, let me tell you right now, you're not alone. As we get older, our bodies change in subtle, unexpected ways, and sometimes those changes come with new challenges we didn't see coming. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It often means you've been doing what you thought was right all along. In today's story, we're going to gently uncover 8 surprisingly common bathroom habits that many senior women unknowingly develop. Habits that can increase body odor, even when you think you're being perfectly hygienic. These aren't things you'll hear from most people, not even your doctor. But once you know them, they're easy to fix. So I invite you to stay with me until the end. You'll learn simple, practical tips that can help you feel fresher, more confident, and more in tune with your body. Because at any age, especially this one, you deserve to feel clean, comfortable, and fully yourself. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. When I was younger, I used to believe that more soap meant more cleanliness. Every morning, I'd step into the shower with a sense of purpose, armed with my favorite floral-scented body wash and a determination to scrub every inch of my skin until I felt fresh. I paid special attention to my intimate areas, thinking the more I cleaned down there, the better. After all, that's what the commercials and fancy product labels promised. Cleanliness, confidence, and even elegance. So I lathered up religiously day after day, with all the latest feminine hygiene washes, sprays, and wipes. But somewhere along the way, something felt off. I began to notice irritation I hadn't experienced before. Sometimes it was a little itch, other times a persistent dryness or strange discomfort I couldn't quite explain. And worst of all, there were days when I thought I smelled worse after my shower than before. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. I was cleaner than ever, wasn't I? It wasn't until years later, in a quiet moment during a checkup, that my gynecologist asked me about my hygiene routine. I told her everything proudly, expecting praise. But instead, she gently shook her head and said something I'll never forget: "You're overdoing it. Your body doesn't need that much help." It turns out that our intimate areas are far more intelligent than we give them credit for. The vagina is a self-cleaning organ, designed to maintain its balance with a natural blend of beneficial bacteria and an acidic pH, usually between 3.8 and 4.5. This delicate system works like a perfectly tuned orchestra, keeping things healthy, clean, and odor-free. But when we introduce harsh, scented soaps and overly aggressive cleaning habits, we throw that balance into chaos. Many of those feminine washes and sprays lining drugstore shelves are packed with chemicals, fragrances, and alcohols that strip away not only dirt, but also the good bacteria your body needs. It's like tearing down your house just to kill a fly. When you disrupt the vaginal ecosystem, you create space for harmful bacteria and yeast to grow. That's when infections, odors, itching, and discomfort begin. Not because you're dirty, but because you've cleaned too much. I learned this lesson the hard way. I spent years thinking I was doing myself a favor when, in reality, I was making my body work twice as hard to heal itself from the damage I was causing. So what's the right way to care for that part of your body? It's much simpler and gentler than you think. First, understand that the inside of the vagina doesn't need cleaning. It does that job on its own by producing natural secretions that flush out dead cells and bacteria. The only area that needs a little external care is the vulva, the outer part. And even there, less is more. Warm water is often all you need. If you feel the need to use soap, choose one that's fragrance-free, pH-balanced, and specifically designed for sensitive areas. Use it sparingly, and only on the outside. No scrubbing, no perfumes, and certainly no douching. Those wipes and sprays that promise a fresh feeling often do the opposite, drying out your skin, triggering allergic reactions, and introducing irritants you didn't bargain for. I know it can feel strange to let go of long-held routines. We were raised to believe that cleanliness is next to godliness, and many of us internalize the idea that we have to go above and beyond to stay fresh. But here's the truth. Your body has been looking out for you this whole time. It knows what it's doing. All you have to do is get out of its way. If something ever feels off, if there's a persistent smell, irritation, or discomfort, don't double down on soaps and scrubs. Go see a doctor. Sometimes, the issue is medical, and no amount of washing will solve it. And sometimes, the answer is as simple as doing less. Since changing my routine, I've felt a quiet transformation. Not just physically, but emotionally. I trust my body more. I respect its wisdom. I no longer feel the need to mask or modify it constantly. Instead, I support it with gentle care, and in return, I feel fresher and more confident than I did in my overwashing years. For women like us, mature, wise, and still living fully, this knowledge is power. It's about working with your body, not against it. So the next time you reach for that bottle of scented wash, pause. Ask yourself, do I need this? Chances are, your body's already done the work. All you have to do is let it be. It's easy to overlook something as simple as a towel. After all, we use it right after a shower, when we're clean, so how dirty can it be? But here's the surprising truth. Towels are quite little magnets for bacteria, mold, and lingering odors. Especially in warm, damp bathrooms, where moisture doesn't always dry as quickly as we'd like, a towel can quickly become a breeding ground for things we don't want touching our skin, let alone our most sensitive areas. You might not even notice at first. Maybe the towel smells just a bit off, but nothing alarming. Or maybe your skin feels a little itchy afterward, but you chalk it up to dryness or aging. These are subtle signs your towel might be harboring more than just yesterday's shower. When towels aren't washed frequently enough, they can hold on to dead skin cells, body oils, and bacteria from the very areas we're trying to keep clean. And the more we reuse them without proper care, the more that buildup starts to contribute to body odor, especially in older women whose skin becomes thinner and more sensitive over time. How often should you wash your towel? The general rule is every 3 to 4 uses, at most. But if your towel doesn't dry properly between uses, or if it's stored in a humid space, it might need even more frequent washing. One good trick is to smell the towel right after you've dried off. If it doesn't smell clean, it's not clean. And if you've been using the same towel all week, it's probably time to give it a rest. This is where a towel rotation system can work wonders. Keep a few bath towels on hand, maybe 3 or 4, and rotate them out regularly. That way, you're not scrambling to do laundry every other day, and you always have a fresh one ready. Use a towel once, hang it properly to dry, never in a crumpled pile, and let it breathe in a well-ventilated space. If it's still damp hours later, it's not drying fast enough. You might want to invest in a towel rack with better airflow, or even hang it outside in the sun from time to time. Sunshine is nature's best disinfectant. Proper drying techniques matter, too. After each use, spread your towel out completely. Folded or bunched up towels don't dry evenly, and the trapped moisture creates a perfect home for bacteria. And if your towel has that sour, musty smell, even after it's been washed, it may be time to retire it for good. Older towels lose their absorbency and develop deep-set mildew that detergent can't always remove. It's such a simple fix, but one that can make a world of difference. Clean towels equals cleaner skin. And when our skin is clean and well cared for, our bodies don't have to fight off as much irritation, infection, or odor. For older adults, especially women, this kind of preventative care is essential. Our skin changes, our immune responses shift, and things we could once brush off now demand more attention. So, if you've never thought much about your towel habits before, now is the perfect time to start. A fresh, clean towel might not seem like a big deal, but it could be the quiet secret to feeling fresher, more comfortable, and more confident every single day. As we grow older, our bodies whisper to us in ways we never quite expected. A small ache here, a bit more dryness there, maybe a faint, unpleasant smell that seems to linger no matter how much we shower. And more often than not, that subtle odor is coming from a place we tend to forget: our feet. Foot odor in older adults isn't just about poor hygiene, it's often about changing skin. As we age, the skin on our feet becomes thinner, less elastic, and drier. Sweat glands slow down, but the sweat that is produced stays trapped in areas like the soles and between the toes. Combine that with layers of dead skin, and you've got the perfect environment for bacteria to thrive. These bacteria break down the sweat and skin cells, releasing gases that create that familiar, musty scent. You'd be surprised how many older folks skip washing their feet altogether in the shower. Maybe it's because bending down has become a challenge. Maybe we assume that as water runs down our bodies, it's cleaning our feet on the way. But rinsing isn't washing. The soles, the heels, between the toes, these are areas that need special care, especially in later life. Left unattended, the buildup of dead skin can harden into calluses or even crack, allowing bacteria and fungus to enter and cause infection. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. A simple daily habit can make all the difference. Take a moment each day, whether in the shower or during your bedtime routine, to gently wash your feet with mild soap and warm water. Use a soft cloth or sponge to clean the tops, bottoms, and sides of your feet. Pay special attention to the heels and areas that often get overlooked. It doesn't have to be rough or rushed, just consistent and thorough. For those who have difficulty bending over, long-handled brushes or shower stools can help make the process safer and more comfortable. But the most important step comes after washing: drying. Damp feet are a breeding ground for bacteria and fungi. And one of the worst culprits? The space between the toes. It's warm, often stays moist longer than other parts of the body, and if not dried properly, can lead to painful conditions like athlete's foot or even bacterial infections. Always use a clean, dry towel to pat the feet dry, making sure to gently dry between each toe. Some older adults also find relief and comfort in using foot powder after drying. A light dusting of antifungal or moisture-absorbing powder can help keep the feet dry throughout the day, especially if you're prone to sweating. Choose powders that are gentle and talc-free, and apply them sparingly. More is not always better. For some, medicated foot powders with natural antibacterial ingredients can be a good preventative measure. But caring for your feet isn't just about today, it's about your long-term comfort and mobility. Our feet carry us through life, and as we age, they deserve even more attention than we've given them before. Foot infections, cracked skin, or fungal issues don't just cause discomfort. They can impact balance, increase the risk of falls, and even contribute to systemic infections in people with weaker immune systems. Regular foot care is an act of respect for the body that served you for decades. It's a gentle reminder that no part of us is too small to matter. The areas we forget most often are often the ones that need us the most. So next time you shower, don't just let the water hit your shoulders and call it a day. Bend, stretch, ask for help if you need to, but don't ignore your feet. They've earned your attention. They've walked your entire life with you. Give them the daily care they deserve, and you might just find yourself feeling cleaner, fresher, and more confident than you have in years. Because staying clean isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling whole. And at any age, that feeling is worth every extra moment. There's a habit so small, so automatic, that most people don't even think twice about it: flushing the toilet. But for older adults, especially those with weakened immune systems, This everyday act can have surprising consequences if one crucial step is skipped: closing the lid. Let's talk about something you probably haven't heard of but need to know: the toilet plume. It's not science fiction. It's a scientific fact. When you flush a toilet without closing the lid, it creates a forceful surge of air that sends microscopic droplets, tiny bits of water, waste, and bacteria, flying into the air. This invisible mist can rise several feet and linger in the bathroom for minutes. And those droplets, they don't just disappear. They settle on your sink, your toothbrush, your towel, even your skin. That plume can carry harmful bacteria like E. coli, norovirus, and Clostridium difficile, organisms that can cause stomach infections, diarrhea, and more serious complications in older adults. And since seniors are often more vulnerable to illness, this floating cloud of germs becomes more than just an unpleasant idea. It becomes a real health concern. You might wonder, but I keep my bathroom clean. And that's good, but no amount of scrubbing can prevent bacteria from spreading in the moment of the flush if the lid is left open. Bathrooms are small, often poorly ventilated spaces. When a plume rises, it doesn't need much time or space to land on the things you touch every day. Think about how often you dry your face with a towel that hangs close to the toilet, or where your toothbrush is stored, or how you sometimes place your glasses or dentures on the bathroom counter while washing up. Now, imagine those items lightly dusted with particles from your last flush. It's unsettling and entirely avoidable. The fix is as simple as it gets. Close the lid before you flush. That's it. This 1-second habit traps most of the spray inside the bowl and keeps your bathroom, and your body, far safer. You don't need a fancy new toilet or expensive cleaning products. You just need a little mindfulness and the will to protect your health. For those who may have arthritis or trouble bending, there are toilet seats with easy-to-close lids or even slow-close lids that don't require pressure. If you're a caregiver, remind your loved ones of this step, especially if they're older or have compromised immunity. In the grand scheme of life, it might seem like a small detail, but health is often in the details. For seniors, avoiding infections, maintaining hygiene, and staying healthy isn't just about big routines. It's about the little choices we make every day. So from now on, before you flush, pause. Reach for the lid. Close it gently. And flush with peace of mind, knowing you've done something simple yet powerful to protect yourself and your family. Because sometimes, the smallest habits lead to the biggest difference. As we get older, comfort and hygiene become more important than ever. And yet, there's one nightly habit many older adults continue out of convenience, routine, or simply not knowing better: wearing the same underwear to bed that they wore all day. It seems harmless, right? But the truth is, this small decision can have bigger health implications than most people realize. Think about everything your body goes through during the day. Even if you aren't sweating the way you did in your younger years, your underwear is still collecting moisture, natural body oils, dead skin cells, and in many cases, bacteria. These conditions create a warm, damp environment, exactly what bacteria and yeast love. When you keep the same undergarments on into the night, you're giving those organisms an invitation to thrive for 8 more hours. For older adults, particularly those who are less active, who may sit for longer periods, or who have health concerns like diabetes or incontinence, this can quietly lead to irritation, rashes, and even infections. You may notice itching, discomfort, or an odd odor, but by then, bacteria or fungal growth may already be spreading. All from something as avoidable as not changing your underwear before bedtime. Now let's talk fabric. Not all underwear is created equal. Many people, especially older men and women, wear synthetic fabrics like nylon or polyester blends. They're inexpensive, stretchy, and often marketed as breathable. But don't be fooled. These materials tend to trap moisture and heat, creating the perfect storm for bacteria and odor. On the other hand, cotton underwear is soft, absorbent, and allows the skin to breathe more naturally. It's gentler on aging skin, which often becomes thinner and more sensitive with time. If you're wearing the same synthetic underwear all day and night, you're not giving your skin a chance to recover. But a simple change into a fresh, breathable cotton pair before bed, or even choosing to sleep without underwear entirely, can give your body the break it needs. And yes, sleeping without underwear is not just a comfort choice, it can be beneficial. Allowing your skin to breathe, especially overnight, reduces friction, prevents irritation, and lowers the risk of bacterial buildup. It's a way to honor your body, giving it time to reset and recover. For women, especially, this can help maintain vaginal health and reduce the chance of yeast infections. For men, it helps with airflow and overall hygiene. Still, the key here isn't just about fabric or going commando. It's about changing into something clean at the end of the day. Just like brushing your teeth, washing your face, or rinsing your feet, it's part of a daily reset that keeps your body clean, balanced, and comfortable. Nighttime hygiene isn't about vanity. It's about self-respect and health preservation. It's about recognizing that your body, even in its later years, deserves fresh care and thoughtful attention. The same way we don't wear the same socks 2 days in a row, we shouldn't sleep in underwear that's been collecting bacteria all day. It may feel like a small habit, but this small step, changing your underwear or simply going without, can significantly improve your skin's health, prevent infections, and make your sleep more restful and comfortable. It's a moment of kindness to your own body before you drift off. So tonight, before you slip into bed, take a moment to pause. Peel off the day, not just emotionally, but physically. Change into fresh, breathable underwear, or let yourself go without. Let your body breathe, your skin rest, and your health benefit from a habit that takes less than a minute, but gives back so much more. Because sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself isn't grand or dramatic. It's simply choosing clean comfort over old habits. And at any age, especially past 65, those choices matter more than ever. As we age, we often grow wiser about the little things that make a big difference in our daily comfort. But there are still habits, quiet, overlooked ones, that can slowly undermine our sense of cleanliness and well-being. One such habit: ignoring the trash bin in the bathroom. It's not glamorous. It's not something we often talk about. But for older adults, especially those spending more time at home, a dirty bathroom trash can quietly become a source of odors, bacteria, and even illness. Think about what goes into that little bin. Used tissues, cotton swabs, empty pill packets, dental floss, disposable razors, and perhaps the most troublesome of all, damp hygiene items like facial wipes, wet toilet paper, or incontinence products. These items carry moisture, and where there's moisture trapped in a small, enclosed space, there's bound to be bacterial growth and foul odors, especially in the warm, humid environment of a bathroom. Even if you empty the trash regularly, that plastic bin still holds onto residue. Drops of water, a bit of toothpaste, stray hairs or skin flakes. Over time, these bits settle into the bottom or cling to the sides, slowly breeding bacteria and mold. And because the bin often sits tucked away behind the toilet or under the sink, it's easy to forget about, until the smell starts. This can be especially problematic for seniors. Our immune systems weaken as we age, and exposure to mold or bacteria, even low level, can cause respiratory irritation, sinus issues, or skin reactions. What's more, an unpleasant smelling bathroom makes it harder to relax and feel comfortable in your own home. But here's the good news. Cleaning your bathroom trash bin doesn't have to be difficult or time-consuming. A simple routine can keep it fresh and sanitary with very little effort. Once a week, or at least every other week, take the bin outside or into a laundry room sink. Wash it with warm water and a few drops of dish soap. If you want to go a step further, add a splash of white vinegar or a spoonful of baking soda. These natural cleaners not only kill bacteria but also neutralize odors without harsh chemicals. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. After washing, let it air dry completely before replacing the liner. And here's a helpful tip. Sprinkle a bit of baking soda in the bottom of the bin before you add a new bag. It will absorb moisture and fight off unpleasant smells between cleanings. Or if you prefer something more fragrant, drop a few sprays of essential oils, like lavender or eucalyptus, onto a cotton ball and place it at the bottom under the liner. The scent will subtly lift the mood of the whole bathroom. For those who find bending down or scrubbing difficult, a handheld sprayer or long-handled brush can make the job easier. You can even ask a caregiver or family member to include it in their weekly tasks. The point is not to create extra stress, but to build simple, effective habits that support a cleaner, healthier environment. Keeping your bathroom fresh isn't about being perfect, it's about caring for yourself in the details. When you open your bathroom door in the morning, you should be greeted by a space that feels clean, cared for, and safe. A fresh-smelling bathroom trash bin is a small part of that, but it makes a bigger difference than you might think. So next time you empty the bin, don't just replace the bag and walk away. Give the container itself a moment of attention. It's one of those tiny acts of hygiene that quietly protects your comfort, your air quality, and your peace of mind. And in the later chapters of life, those little acts of care are not just chores, they are gifts we give ourselves. There's a certain comfort that comes with slipping into your favorite bathrobe. It's soft, familiar, and feels like home, especially after a warm shower or a long soak in the tub. For many older adults, it's more than just a piece of clothing. It's part of the routine, almost like a gentle hug that eases you into the morning or winds you down for the night. But here's the thing most people don't realize. That beloved bathrobe might not be as clean as it feels. Wearing an unwashed or old robe could be quietly working against your health and comfort, especially as we age and our immune systems become a little more vulnerable. You see, bathrobes often give us the illusion of cleanliness. After all, we usually put them on right after we've washed ourselves. Our skin is clean, we feel fresh, and so the robe must be clean too, right? Not quite. Even after a shower, our skin is still shedding tiny particles, dead skin cells, body oils, even traces of sweat or soap residue. All of this ends up getting absorbed into the soft, fluffy fabric of the robe. And if the robe is damp from your body or steam in the bathroom, that trapped moisture becomes a perfect breeding ground for bacteria and mildew. The problem is, bathrobes don't always look dirty. They don't show stains the way a t-shirt or pants might. So, it's easy to wear the same one for a week, or 2, or even longer, without giving it a second thought. But the truth is, bacteria don't wait for visible dirt to grow. And over time, that growth can lead to more than just unpleasant odors. It can irritate sensitive skin, cause rashes, or even lead to minor infections, especially for those with underlying conditions like diabetes, where skin health needs extra attention. Let's not forget that most robes are made from thick, absorbent materials like cotton or terry cloth. These fabrics soak up moisture and hold onto it longer than thinner clothing. So even if your robe feels dry to the touch, a few hours later, the inner fibers might still be damp, especially if it wasn't hung up properly to dry. Now, that doesn't mean you need to throw out your favorite robe. Not at all. But it does mean creating a gentler routine to care for it, the same way you care for your body. Experts recommend washing your bathrobe once a week, especially if you wear it daily. If you tend to wear it only a couple of times a week, you might stretch it to every 10 days. But for those who wear it after every shower, weekly washing is a must. Use warm or hot water, depending on the fabric, and a mild detergent. Avoid fabric softeners if your skin is sensitive. They can leave a residue that clings to fibers and holds onto dirt. If your robe is white or light-colored and starting to smell musty, a bit of white vinegar in the rinse cycle can help kill bacteria and neutralize odor. But washing is only half the story. The drying method is just as important. Don't just toss the robe over a hook or leave it bunched up on the bathroom door. doing that traps moisture inside the folds of the fabric, creating a dark, damp environment where bacteria thrive. Instead, hang it wide open on a sturdy hook or a drying rack, preferably in a well-ventilated room. Better yet, if you have a backyard or porch, let it dry in the fresh air and sunlight. Sunlight is a natural disinfectant, and even a couple of hours outside can freshen up the fabric more than any spray or powder. If you prefer using a dryer, make sure to run it on a full cycle until the robe is completely dry. Partially dried robes can feel warm and cozy, but that lingering dampness tucked deep in the seams is all bacteria need to grow back. And here's one more thing to consider. If your robe is more than a few years old and has started to feel rough, lose its shape, or hold odors even after washing, it might be time to let it go. It served you well. But sometimes, holding onto old fabrics past their lifespan does more harm than good, especially when they're used close to the skin. In our later years, comfort matters more than ever. But true comfort means cleanliness, too. Slipping into a freshly laundered, well-dried bathrobe is more than just a morning habit. It's a small, daily act of care. And those small acts, done consistently, can make a powerful difference in how we feel. Physically, emotionally, and even spiritually. So the next time you reach for your robe, pause for just a moment. Feel it, smell it, and ask yourself, does this still feel fresh, or is it time for a quick wash? Your body, and your peace of mind, will thank you. It's a small moment in the bathroom routine, one you might not even think twice about. You've just finished shaving your underarms, and without hesitation, you pat your skin dry, swipe on some deodorant, and move on with your day. But what if I told you that this simple habit might be quietly working against your hygiene? For many older adults, routines become second nature. We've done the same things for decades, trusting that what worked before will continue to serve us. But aging skin behaves differently. It becomes thinner, more sensitive, and slower to heal. That's why something as mundane as skipping a rinse after shaving your armpits can quietly contribute to irritation, unpleasant odor, or even infection. You see, shaving does more than just remove hair. It acts as a form of exfoliation. As your razor glides across the skin, it not only cuts hair at the surface but also scrapes away dead skin cells. In doing so, it exposes a fresher, more vulnerable layer underneath. And when that freshly shaved skin is left unwashed, it can trap more than just moisture. It holds onto residue from the shaving cream, dead skin, microscopic hairs, and even a bit of blood from tiny nicks you might not notice. It's easy to overlook. After all, the water's already run over the area, right? But post-shave, your skin needs more than just a quick rinse. Without intentionally cleansing the area with mild soap and warm water, those microscopic particles linger, and in a warm, enclosed space like the underarm, they create an ideal environment for bacteria to thrive. That's when odor can become a persistent problem. You might notice that deodorant doesn't last as long as it used to, or that there's a faint smell even shortly after a shower. Many chalk this up to aging or hormones, but often it's simply about what's left behind after shaving. And when we cover it up too quickly, immediately applying deodorant to freshly shaven skin without letting it breathe, we compound the issue. Think of your underarm like a freshly tilled garden. You wouldn't dump chemicals on freshly turned soil without giving it a little air and water, would you? Likewise, your skin, after shaving, needs a moment to recover. Let it breathe for a few minutes before you reach for deodorant. Give it a chance to dry fully. That alone can reduce irritation and improve how well your deodorant performs throughout the day. And let's talk about the kind of deodorant we're using. As we age, skin sensitivity increases. Many commercial deodorants are loaded with alcohols, artificial fragrances, and aluminum compounds that can sting or clog pores when applied to recently shaved skin. If you've ever noticed redness or a stinging sensation after applying, that's your skin crying out for gentler care. After cleansing, consider switching to a fragrance-free or natural deodorant, at least on shaving days. And if you don't plan to leave the house or exert yourself, There's no harm in skipping deodorant altogether for the day. It gives your skin a break and allows the natural microbiome under your arms to restore itself, a key part of long-term hygiene and odor control. Another tip that often gets overlooked is the razor itself. If you're using a disposable razor or keeping the same blade for weeks, you could be introducing more bacteria every time you shave. Blades that aren't rinsed properly or left in damp shower corners develop rust and harbor bacteria. That means even if you wash afterward, you're still fighting an uphill battle. Make it a habit to rinse your razor thoroughly after each use and let it air dry in a clean, dry space, away from the toilet or sink spray. Change the blade regularly, especially if it starts to tug or feel dull. Shaving should be smooth and painless. If it's not, your razor has probably outstayed its welcome. In the end, it's not about adding a complicated step to your routine. It's about being mindful of the skin you're in, especially the parts we often neglect. With just a few minutes of extra care, you can prevent discomfort, reduce odors, and keep your underarm skin healthy and clean. So next time you shave, pause for just a moment. Give your underarms the attention they deserve, a gentle wash, a few deep breaths of air, and only then, a touch of deodorant. Your skin, and your sense of comfort, will thank you. After everything we've explored together in this video, one thing becomes clear. Good hygiene isn't about doing more, it's about doing what truly matters. Especially as we grow older, the little habits we form in our daily routines have a much bigger impact than we often realize. A towel that hasn't been washed, a toilet flushed with the lid open, or a robe worn for days without cleaning. These small oversights can slowly chip away at our comfort, health, and dignity. But here's the good news. Each one of them is incredibly easy to fix. By becoming more mindful, choosing cotton underwear before bed, drying your feet properly after a shower, cleaning your trash bin once a week, you're not just cleaning your body, you're giving it the respect it deserves. These aren't vanity habits. These are acts of self-care, especially vital for those of us in our golden years. And when we take care of ourselves, we move through the world with a sense of calm, confidence, and freshness that no product can ever bottle. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for staying with me. Your time matters, and so does your health. If you're still watching, type "I'm with you" number 1 in the comments to let me know you're here and ready to make these small but powerful changes. Or type number 2, number 3 if you joined us part way. Either way, I'd love to hear which habit surprised you the most, and which one you'll start with tonight. And if this video gave you even one helpful insight, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone you care about, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We've got more simple, practical tips coming your way to help you feel fresh, confident, and in tune with your body every single day.